I'm starting.
Hi, I'm Mackie,
I'm Stacey.
I'm Peyton.
And I'm Chasity.
and we're going to talk about our research on pheromones and human sexuality.
Now, you're probably wondering, what the heck is a pheromone? Well, today we'll explain exactly what it is, and hopefully by the end of this presentation, you'll understand what a pheromone is. Pheromones typically come from deodorant, perfume, and as well as soap, insects, flowers, and humans. Now, you're probably wondering, how can it come from humans? Well, let me explain to you the definition first. Pheromones are a chemical secretion that elicit unlearned behavior or developmental responses from others of the same organisms. They act to regulate sexual, reproductive, and emotional behaviors. Now, pheromones from humans, they come from 6 places. They come from the underarms, the nipples of both sexes, the pubic and genital regions, the lips, eyelids, and outer ear, and is typically highest during the puberty period. Now here is Ms. Mackie Edwards to explain to you the study of our research.
Yeah, so there's been significant research on pheromones already. And so there's been research on that pheromones can even attract or repel possible mates. And this is especially important in humans because we do have an abundance of secretions that naturally occur. And not only do we have these naturally occurring secretions, but we are also the only species that uses artificial aromas such as perfume or cologne, things like deodorant as well, that we use to help not only increase our own personal attractiveness, but also what we look for whenever we're looking for a sexual partner or significant other. So we wanted to see if college students agree with our hypothesis that pheromones do play a role in our sexual behavior. Our goal of our survey was to receive input from these college students on whether or not they think that aroma and pheromones play a role in their own sexual decision making. So we sent out a survey to 24 respondents through email, electronically, and these were the results that we got.
In the survey we conducted, we asked 6 simple questions. We started by asking what their sexual orientation, meaning what sex were they attracted to, and we saw that 63% of the participants were attracted to female and only 33% to males. We then asked if order was a determinant when choosing who they engage in sexual behavior or intercourse with, and half strongly agreed, and about a third agreed and only 13% disagreed, meaning that they do take pheromones in consideration when engaging in sexual behavior or intercourse. We then moved on to ask whether poor order was something that made a person less attractive to them, and 62% strongly agreed, while only 38% agreed. We also asked whether perfume or cologne was used to enhance their personal attractiveness, and we had a tie with strongly agreed, and only 8% disagreed. We also asked whether someone that wore perfume or cologne became more attractive to them, and we had the majority with 54% agreed and 38% strongly agreed, and again only 8% disagreed, meaning that they do take pheromones in consideration when choosing who they would engage in sexual behavior with. And the last question we asked was whether, when picturing their perfect significant other, whether aroma was in their top 5 features to consider. And we had a tie between strongly disagreed and agreed with 21%, and the majority strongly agreed, and a fourth disagreed.
Yeah, so overall, we felt that our results ultimately supported our hypothesis that pheromones do have a role in human sexuality. We saw that the majority of our respondents would agree that scent, aroma, or as we're now calling them, pheromones, do have a role in whenever they're choosing a sexual partner or significant other, or just simply seeing somebody as attractive. So we definitely thought it was interesting because we don't normally think of smell as something that you first look at whenever you're trying to find a sexual partner. But we did find it interesting that the majority of our participants and the people that we asked, they do consider this as a crucial factor in someone that they're looking for. And so like our research, we also found some other studies on pheromones that we thought that were interesting.
Yeah, so similar to our research, there has been a growing interest in pheromones and its connection to tears. So specifically in a study done by Sobel, he got people that he claimed to be easy criers, and he got them to watch some sad movies, and whenever they produced tears, he collected them, and then he soaked a cotton swab in their tears. And then with another cotton swab, he soaked them in saline, and that's what he called his placebo. And then he got various men to watch a slideshow of women, and as they were watching that slideshow, he either put the tear-soaked cotton swab under their nose, or he put the saline-soaked cotton swab under their nose, and they didn't know which one it was. And then they asked them to rate the women on the screen, and unfortunately, the men who smelt the tear-soaked cotton swab rated the women as less appealing. Their sexual excitement dropped. Their testosterone levels in their saliva decreased dramatically, and they had less activity in brain areas associated with sexual arousal. And then a second study that we found super interesting was done by Cutler, and he used synthesized human pheromones and gave some of them to 38 heterosexual men. And first they experienced a 2-week baseline period, and during this they had to log 6 activities such as kissing, formal dates, informal dates, sleeping next to their partners, sexual intercourse, and masturbation. And the point of this 2-week baseline period was to see their regular and normal sexual activity so that they compare it to their 6-week placebo-controlled period in which they either received the synthesized human pheromones or just a placebo pill. And during that 6-week period, they still had to record all of those activities in their behavioral journal, and then he compared the two. And so, unsurprisingly, the men who received the synthesized human pheromones had a dramatic increase in sexual activity. And so, the major takeaway from all of this is that, much like the research that we received from surveying college students, pheromones do play a major role in our sexual decision-making and behaviors. And while there isn't a ton of research out there yet about pheromones and their effect on our sex lives, we definitely expect an increase in interest around this since it's so interesting. Thanks.
Thanks.